Hey, what's up, everyone? CryptoVatsik here. Thanks so much for joining. Nothing of what you're about to see is considered financial advice. Let's get right into it. Okay, today I'm going to cover technical analysis on Chainlink, Link, USDT. Okay, we're on the 12-hour right now. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the price action. So this chart is already marked up from my previous analysis that I had done really all the way back here in June. I had started to draw this chart out and I've shared it on my Twitter. I've shared it on TradingView. So you might have seen it before. If you haven't, I'll cover it quickly here. So basically we had this overall range, right? So we had our swing high here and our swing low. So that formed this macro range that we've got that we've been playing in, all the way back since our macro low in May. Okay, so we came up here, we made our swing high, sweeping this previous high, and then we came down and swung low, and then obviously just sweeping this macro low, this wick down here on the left, and then obviously just ultimately chopping within this overall range, right? So you can see this guy right here, okay, within this kind of a sub range of our overall range, right? So you could call it rangeception, whatever. So basically we had our upper band of the range here, okay, around $7.77, and then the lower band obviously just near the low here, okay. And then ultimately this much larger range that we saw come to fruition when we made this swing high, okay, failed breakout up here, obviously not being able to break above this $9.50 region of resistance. But as time went on, we started to really identify our supply and demand zones, right? So clearly our demand zone down here on a higher time frame, but this is on the 12-hour, right? In green is clearly our area of demand still, right? A couple deviations below over here when we we're starting to form this range and starting to form kind of this base, right? But at this point now we've just tapped it a few more times, and each time much quicker reaction off of it, right? So a few deviations chopping around it, kind of figuring out that support base. Tap it here, slight deviation below, then tapped it inside this time, and then just a wick this time inside, okay? So a very nicely established area of demand, but we are starting to move further away from that area now. So now we have to reevaluate what's going on. And so we had this established area of supply in here in red, right? So basically right above the upper band of this minor range, or the smaller range here, okay, was our area of supply that we deviated above this range a few times, okay? However, we really just ultimately coming back into this supply and getting dumped on, right? So we did have this nice move above, but then it failed, failed breakdown, ultimately ranging within this larger range, okay? But then a few more attempts to come up into this supply, and ultimately I had shared on this chart that I want to see something like that happen. I want to see us get above this red area of supply, and essentially turn that into our new demand zone. And this has been clearly established resistance, right? All the way since July, like late July, right, was our first area really coming into it. And establishing that since then as clear resistance, right? And so that's just your obvious area that you want to have a flip of. And so it took some time, but we finally got what I was hoping to see, right? We finally got that flip of that supply zone, and now we're trying to turn this into our new area of demand, right? Previous area of demand being down here, and now I want to flip this green and say that that's our new area of demand, right? I'm hesitant to do that at the moment because this has just been our first attempt at breaking out, okay? So I clearly want to see this area hold for now, and I'm not sure what, the Monday open, the weekly open tomorrow will bring, but I would like to see this strength continue if this move is going to have credibility, so to speak, okay? So previously, though, in this range that we were in before, I had said that I didn't really care too much about trading this chop. Very difficult to navigate, and really just not much R&R within this area for me to get excited about. And I really wanted to see that breakout, right? So this upper band. So in here, we just really chopped around in the upper 50th percentile, okay, of this range, which is good to see, right? It's weaker, indicating a move possibly down if you're chopping around in the bottom percentile, the lower 50th percentile of the range, right? So instead of what we got, if we got something like this, you'd start to target something below, right? Whereas now we were getting choppiness right around the upper 50th percentile of this range, okay, which was, basically sign that it was stronger. And ultimately, when I look at something like this and I zoom out a bit, it really does start to look like an area of accumulation or some form of consolidation, right? Basically, we'll call these deviations, but basically the core area of consolidation in that area there in yellow. Oh, okay, one sec. Ultimately, that area in yellow really being this area, this zone and time span of consolidation. Okay, so it does indicate that I think a big move will be coming. And if the market can remain steady and Bitcoin and Ethereum can show strength across the market, I think alts that have formed patterns like this will really shine, and we can start to talk about targets above shortly. The other thing I'll note is I think on the daily, we are now above the 100 exponential moving average. Okay, so side note, I do like to use EMAs to each their own. A lot of traders use simple moving averages or just moving averages, MAs. I've just gotten used to using EMAs, okay, and it just works well for me. So what I'm noticing now is this is basically the first time since this last move up here in August that we got, or late July. Yeah, August, sorry. We are above that 100 EMA, this line that's coming down here, the thinner moving average, exponential moving average. Okay, we're above that line now on the daily. And I don't count these ones as breakouts above, although we did have candle closes above, but we never had that secondary move above. Okay, this one just really a peak V reversal down as well. And so what's different to me about this now at this point is we had our move above, we had our candle closes above, and then we actually retested the 100 EMA as support essentially. And then we had our secondary move up to the 200 EMA. And we just hadn't seen that yet. So we're starting to see the moving averages flatten out, pinching with price, which is what you like to see, right? You just like to see this kind of flattening out, balancing of the moving averages and price in sync, so to speak, right? Versus a moving average that's kind of doing this, and you got price just kind of going all over the place. Sorry, but you know what I mean. So basically, just not less choppiness, right? So we got basically just a lot of choppiness over here, right? And so we start to see that flattening out, and it really just ends up taking time, you guys, right? Okay. Now for my targets, clearly I've just got these two lines up here. So basically, first target being bottom of this wick. Okay, there's a little bit of consolidation around this zone right here. Okay, we had a bit of relief there until we broke down, and then ultimately just this area up here. Okay, the origin of this breakdown, right, where we had some bearish consolidation. We were trying to hold the level. There was some confluence with these levels over here, really trying to hold that as our bottom, and just wasn't able to do that, right? So I'll draw the zone out, so that could be my zone, my sell zone, rather than a line. I just take it to the top of this bearish consolidation, the swing high, and that would be target 2. And then target 1 essentially being this one right here. So that's kind of the shorter mid time frame. If we see strength across the board in the market and we don't get a major dump across Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we can start to talk about some other levels above at that point. But until we see this happen, until we see what I was talking about earlier happen within the shorter time frame currently, then I'm very skeptical if we're gonna see these targets. I'm just I'm very cautious in bear markets where we create these ceilings that we can't really break out of for quite some time. And if this is our area of accumulation for the next run, then I would expect that this ceiling would be very difficult to break for some time, right? As accumulation continues to grow and people, investors are accumulating and looking for the long term next cycle, right? So if we do break up though, then yeah, that's fine. I do still have these targets up here, and that's fine. But it's just good to stay objective and remember that we are still in a bear market until proven otherwise. Let's just flip down to the 4 hour now. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, we've broken above, okay, and we're retesting this. We've got a bit of an SR flip from this previous high, right, that we're clearly just retesting at this point. So really would like to see price hold that. I'd really like to see tomorrow morning us start to do something like that, where we see some significant bouncing off of this zone. I definitely don't want to come below this zone, and I also don't want to just kind of chop around that area like that, right? I don't want to kind of just hover, and you don't want to get this kind of price action with elevator down kind of thing, right? I really want to see strong move up, maintaining this upward market structure of um, higher lows, okay? And I want to see us start to really come back up to this high quicker, okay? I want to see some strength here, and I want to see some strength tomorrow or Tuesday this coming week to really convince me that we're going to start breaking further to the upside and seeing some of the targets above potentially. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for at this point. If we don't get that and we start to break down and we lose this level, then my expectation would be we just come back inside this range, right? You can see the upper band of this range right here. My expectation would be we just come back into that range and then prolong this area of consolidation accumulation that we've been seeing for quite some time. Okay, so that's my thoughts. And nothing's perfect, right? You don't know what's going to happen for sure, right? You use technical analysis to assume the most probable direction in price, and it doesn't mean it's a guarantee, okay? So you just use these things and you have your invalidations and you have your targets. And if it goes sideways and not the way that you thought or wanted it to, then you have to have your stop losses set and have your risk management dialed in, so that it's okay to be wrong and know when you are wrong. But I'll give credit to Link and the Link Marines. Okay, this is one of the stronger coins that I am seeing right now. And I could see this be powering, be sort of accumulation in this area that could be powering up for a major move or a nice short squeeze, up into these areas in yellow. So time will tell, but stay objective, stay frosty. And I want to thank you so much for joining today. And I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe if you did. We will see you on the next one. You can follow me on Twitter as well at CryptoVatsik for more frequent updates. Have a great night, everyone.